Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for the first race of Season 17. Welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix. I am your host, Zach RC, by myself today for what promises to be the opening. It's going to be the opener. That was the worst possible start I could have possibly brought out. But we are here on F1 24, about to get underway for the opening race of not just the RDL Season 17, but also the first of our 2 seasons on this game. Where are my cameras? There we go. Here we go, first car on the track, that is Red J's Ferrari, and you guys are in for what should no doubt be another exciting installment of this incredible league, the 6th season of full broadcasting on the Zach RC channel. We'll bring you every single race, at least as many as we can over the course of the season. Of course, we'll get to see the brand new cars on the track for the first time. Of course, F1 24 by now has been out for about half a month or so, and we are now well within the start of the game cycle, and we see the first few cars coming out onto the track. But we have got a few new teams in the mix. Everyone's got new liveries, but of course the big names have been switched around in terms of teams. We've got a few new lineups this season. Not everyone here tonight. We're missing 3 drivers. Unsure if we get any more showing up during qualifying or not. But hopefully we should be in for an absolutely fantastic evening of racing. Of course, getting underway with qualifying. So here is Red J in the Ferrari then. First out on the racetrack. And with Pope no longer in the booth, I will be taking you on the lap of the circuit myself. So hopefully I can do a good enough job there. So number 5's Ferrari making his way down towards the final corner on the circuit. And let's turn the telemetry for this run. Overtake is in full deploy, the new Highland effect there. So across the line for the first lap, the first qualifying lap of the season, down towards turn 1. It's a long run down that main straight, one of 3 DRS zones into turn 1, breaking the 100-meter board. Tight apex into the first corner, good exit, trying to avoid any wheel spin through there. Grazing the curbs in turns 2 and 3, we're jumping onto the DRS straight once again here. A good setup at the exit of turn 2 can lead for a solid run down towards turn 4, all that DRS. Red J towards the end of the first sector now, we'll see whereabouts he stacks up in that first split, 28.7 into a slightly more technical second sector through the chicane, nice and smooth, now down into the next braking zone. Again, very, very tight line there, back out to the left hand side for the exit, and now down towards turns 9 and 10, one of the toughest braking zones on the circuit. He nails it completely there, and good exit from the Ferrari. Down onto DRS at number 3 on the run towards turn number 11. Good entry, and now back up the hill for 12. And of course onto the tight right-hander of 13. 107.984 in the second sector. We'll see whereabouts he emerges in terms of that last lap. 2 long straights to go. And off the final corner now, Red Joe set to take up the first lap of the season. And across the line, Red J puts in a 1 minute 30.558, the first qualifying lap of the campaign. Next one to the top is Sakir, of course, made his debut late last season. He's got a full-time seat in the Aston Martin for season 17. Across the line he comes here, 127.966. So big gain there. Flying Duck in the RB goes second. Of course, the RB, one of 2 new teams on the grid for this season. Of course, we get to see some of the big names here. Here's Lucky Lambo in the McLaren. Again, alongside JB. Those 2 were in the Aston Martins last season. Through the last corner he comes now, and on the exit looking for the line. Try and get himself among the top contenders. Across the line he goes there. 1 minute 20.818. Decent time to start things off. Now, of course, crucially, there was a rule change at the end of last season going into this season, and that is that full qualifying is now in effect for season 17 onwards. And another change in that we are reverting back to the 25-point format. So we are more or less getting a full evening's worth of racing in. But of course, qualifying will now play a bit more of a role going into this season's racing. Of course, tyre selection in terms of what you use during all 3 sessions, if you make it to all 3 sessions, could be a crucial role in the Grand Prix. Let's keep an eye here on another car. Wisburn on the intermediates here. I'd say that's probably not the wisest of choices, if I'm completely honest. There's Imrie in the Mercedes. Of course, he's got a new teammate alongside him in Season 11 champion Touch the Post. It's been 6 seasons since he last won the title. Of course, spent the last game here in the commentary box with us. Of course, first race, I have to get used to doing this by myself again. There is the Williams of PJ Keller. Of course, won a race in the late stages of last season in the Alpine. Look how close the floor is running to the ground there as he runs through the right-hander. Down towards the last 2 corners now. Well, down to the last corner rather. Slight bit of a skid there on the entry. We're trying to avoid that. Off the final corner now and charging towards the line. PJ's first time in a session. Getting off the bottom of the board will be a 1:29.577. As Imrie stuck behind, starts his first timed run in the Silver Arrow. Into turn 1. Both Haas cars now in the racetrack. Of course, Hasdale now hosting the reigning Constructors' Championship winning pairing of Grimio and Landlord. Of course, Grimio goes into this season as the current champion. The new number on that car is going for number 19 for season 17. Of course, he did run number 3 last year. Of course, didn't change it when Ricciardo returned. So maintained that number. Here comes Landlord though, through for his first summer. Of course, Landlord was fantastic consistency-wise towards the late stage of last season. Only took 1 win across the entire of season 16, but still managed to take that championship all the way down to the penultimate race of the season, narrowly losing out in Brazil, losing out on countback. Grimio starts his lap as well. A bit of a lock-up there from the champion. Want to try and avoid that. Flat spot the tyres. Yellow flag in the last corner. That is lucky. He was an off there at the last corner. But it's more or less the end of his first run, so that'll be the end of the matter for that McLaren. JB's out on the racetrack, his teammate, so one McLaren leads, another one re-enters the circuit. Sakir's still on top right now, but he's about 4 tenths in front. But as I say that, Imrie goes across the line, puts himself about 4 or 5 tenths up himself. So Imrie now into first position. Of course, thanks to the lack of drivers, or the missing 3 drivers in tonight's race, only the bottom 2 here will be eliminated from qualifying. Of course, the remaining, and then the remaining 15 will go on to the next round. Sorry, I forgot my numbers for a second. The remaining 15 drivers have gone to Q2, and of course from there we'll whittle it down to 8 drivers for the top 10 shootout for pole position. Gaming James in there, 1:28.827, 6th place for the RB team. 4 tenths down from his teammate right now. Both those two drivers joined in over the course of last season. Called James a bit earlier on in the calendar than Flying Duck did. Both of them adapted hugely well. Grimmer goes second there. Landlord must have been a mistake. He's only good enough for 1:33.5, which is down from P10, the lowest time so far. So I imagine he'll want to go again on that unless he wants to find stuff out to qualifying early on. They're in hot lap mode. We can see now what mode they are actually running. Thanks to, of course, the returning of the ERS management. So hot lap mode in effect for Landlord. Because the majority have often been it. PJ into the pit lane. Right now, P5 on the board. I'd say it's quite a safe position to be in to kick things off. Of course, several drivers yet to make laps. Ethan is out on the racetrack on his out lap. Pope is coming towards the line now to start his first flying lap since returning to driving in this league. And Badman there in the Red Bull as well. Of course, Red Bull finishing second in the Constructors' Championship. Of course, with a number of different drivers in that car last season. It was Grovey and Slasinger who ran the majority of the campaign in that car. We also had Wisburn in there as well. And we of course have Fergus who left us at the end of last season. So fresh lineup in that Red Bull, and they'll be looking to try and make a full assault on the Constructors' Championship, perhaps go a place better this time around. I said, they've got a lineup that's capable of doing it. We've got a number of good lineups on the grid over the course, or over this season. Let's see how Pope stacks. So he's going towards turn 9 and 10 now. We have a lock-up from the Sauber in front. That would be Websy. Of course, remember, think back to this time last year. Websy, we didn't think he'd be the one to challenge for the Drivers' Championship in the first season on the new game, but he did just that. As he gets himself back going again. Of course, he was on that lap, so he has to move up for Pope there, who's of course on a full-time run. Big lock-up from the Mercedes there. Doesn't look like there's much time lost, at least from what we can see. Really running the outside of the racetrack there for ducking back downstairs for the last corner on the circuit. And we'll see where he puts himself going into the remainder of qualifying. 1 minute 28.3. It's enough for P6. So Mercedes P1 and P6 in a minute. Nothing to sniff at all. And put themselves right amongst the Haas cars. JB there in 5th place doing a fantastic job so far. It was a brilliant first lap. Of course, with the new game, perhaps comes a slew of drivers who perhaps didn't excel in the last game, but might excel in this one, just thanks to the changes in handling going into a new season. Of course, everyone's had a bit of time to adapt to it. Everyone's bought the game, obviously run practice laps, figure out setups. And there's a sense of excitement that comes into a season from a brand new game as opposed to the second season when we get to sort of New Year's 2025. And of course, we'll get on the way with season 18 at that point, but that's still a long way down the road. Riding the ball with JB here. Not using his battery, so I imagine he's saving that to go again. That, of course, is the joy of having ERS management. The fact that if you give up a hot lap, you can just turn off the ERS and go again, which is always helpful. Putting it back into the pit lane now, so everything I just said was completely incorrect, and JP will go back to the pits. Both Williams cars there have set lap times, PJ and Ethan, P8 and P9 right now. Make that P9 and P10. There goes Badman in the Red Bull through for P5. The top 4 cars have all managed to hit the 1 minute 27s at this stage of the session. Imri is quite a way in front. 4/10 separate him from Grimio. In the drop zone right now, the only 2 cars yet to set lap times being Connie and Kroby. Kroby's on a lap as it stands. But I imagine he's going to go and get... Sorry, he's over that lap. Sorry, he wasn't on time run. 5 minutes to go. Not long now to get those extra times in. Madman's invalidated, but I imagine he's coming back into the pit lane. Webb's up to P6 now, so he's fought his way forward. Just in front of JB there by just over half-tenth. Lucky Lambert there, of course, hovering close to that drop zone. If Krovis to improve, which he needs to, if he sets a lap that's obviously faster, that'll move him down and slot him down to P13. And while there is only 2 cars that are going out this session, these guys still need to get their skates on and avoid being one of those 2 cars. Courtney Goblin is yet to lead the pit lane in qualifying. Oh, slide there from the Red Bull. Solid first sector. We'll see what he can do in the second. Of course, the Red Bull, one of the cars which remained quite similar to its counterpart from last season. Save for that large chunky engine cover that sort of juts out to the right. Personally, not a fan of that, but it clearly works for them because they're still miles ahead in real life Formula 1. Kroby then into the end of the third sector. Second sector, sorry. 1 minute 6.3. And Grimmo's retired, so he's calling an end to his session. And Imri calling it too. So these guys look like they're through to Q2. I think we'll see the majority of the top guys safe as Kroby goes P6. That moves both the Ferraris now down into the drop zone. JB out as well. He's P9. These guys will start to improve. That could be potentially a bit dangerous for him, but I imagine he is safe. Flying Duck goes P6. Brilliant lap there. Just under 3 minutes to go. Wisburn and Gaming James both on out laps here. These two close to that mark. Wisburn on the he's on the bubble as it stands. Red J and Courtney Goblin looking up, but Courtney Goblin's coming out the pit lane here, so we'll see what he can stack up. It's going to be a good lap here to potentially knock Wisburn out of qualifying. So Kierno in third place, definitely the standout of the session. And of course, this is another fantastic thing about a new season. Those drivers who joined us mid-season now get a fresh tally compared to everyone else, so we'll see how they really stack up points-wise. Probably there. Was off the lap at the minute. A minute and a half to go. I think if you want to be setting laps to that now, then you need to be out there on the racetrack. So I don't imagine we'll be seeing anyone else emerging from the pit lane. Wisburn there across the line. 1:29.2 is where he's at right now. James coming towards the end of his first sector. He's 3/10 up. That'll be enough to put him up to P12. Lucky over the line there. 50 more seconds. We're into the last minute of Q1. Webby down to P10. We see PJ over the line there for P8. Courtney Goblin is out on the racetrack. We'll see what he can do now. Pope retiring. Oh, there's a car going well wide. That's one of the Williams. Looks like PJ's sort of gone off the track after completing his lap. So I'd like him to let this sound with Websy through Websy. He might be going for it again. I have to wait and see in terms of lap. Gaming James jumps to P2 there at the flag. The checkered flag about to fall on Q1. Wisburn towards the line. Can he improve? He can improve because it's P14. If Courtney improves, that will knock Ethan out of qualifying. If Courtney sets a time faster than 1:28.809. So it's going to come down to what Courtney sets here. Right on board with Ferrari here as he comes through. Coming at 8.6. Lucky Lambert towards the line here, improving by a tenth at the end of sector 2. Up to P12, just over his teammate by just under half a tenth. And here comes Courtney Goblin for the last corner. Has he got enough? Overtaking full deploys. He charges towards the line. He hasn't done it. It'll be P17 for him. And Webbsy will be the last car over the line. So hopefully that'll be the last car through here. Into the pit lane. And that will bring Q1... No, sorry, you said it's on the track. That will bring Q1 to a close. So we have lost 2 drivers at the end of this first session. 2 more to go before the Grand Prix. Imrie was fastest, followed by James, then Grumio. Keep an eye on those guys. And it's Red J and Courtney Goblin, the 2 Ferraris who find themselves off the pace and out of qualifying. So here we go then into the second part of qualifying. Of course, 15 drivers still on the board, 10 to go through. And we'll see who's got the chops to make it through to that pole position shootout. Who will be the first out on the racetrack? Of course, Imri was the one to watch over the course of that first session, but Gaming James, Grumio, Landlord, Takir, they're all right there. They've all got a solid chance. Of course, top in the session here means nothing. It's all about to make it to Q3. But top in the session definitely helps. Imri out on the racetrack. We've also got Sakir and the Aston Martin out there too. The Aston Martin lineup could potentially be dark horses across the season. Again, another lineup full of 2 drivers who joined mid-season 16 and settled in incredibly fast. You can liken that to the RB lineup with James and Duck. So we'll see so the first car run will be Imri. Sakir's let him go through for the clean air for his first run. And I see one of the McLarens there. That would be Lucky Lambert. Both McLarens made it through. Everyone from the previous session, save for those 2 Ferraris in this one. Imri will be the first one through here. We'll see what he's got to offer in this second session. Soft tyres again on the car. And over the line for that first lap. So of course you can get an early idea of who's adapted to the game quite early on. Imri running all the way there, practically off the circuit as he runs towards turn 4. A bit of a slide down the exit, but managed to hold on to it. 28.1, that first sector, a bit over the curbs there. Very, very aggressive from Imri. Lucky there as well, right behind. Of course, behind the Aston Martin and Sakir. Of course, clean air for everyone, more or less. Decent trainer cars follow one behind the other here, all in their own space. Provided they will keep the pace, then we should be in for a clean run for all of them. Minute 5.8 for Imri in the second sector. Lucky 3 or 4 minutes 6.6. So big difference between the Mercedes and the McLaren in the opening part of this Q2 session. Out of the final corner, we'll see whereabouts these two emerge in terms of lap time. Imri over the line, 1 minute 27.6. Lucky over the line, it will be 127.9 for Sakir, 128.5 for Lucky. So not brilliant there. And of course, this is where the pressure ramps up a little bit because we now have a full 5 slots of drivers to lose in this session. Probably goes 3rd place there. Peter goes 5th. But everyone close together here. And this all starts to see people stack up. Ethan in toward the end of the second sector. And around him there. You can see sort of the liberties these guys take with track limits. It's fantastic to watch. 1 minute 6.5 for Ethan. I imagine that'll put him around sort of where Lucky and PJ are if he keeps on that pace. Pope goes P8, sorry, P7. 1 minute 29.2. I imagine he'll be able to improve on that. Of course, 10 minutes still to go in the session, so plenty of time for that to change. Grumio's out on the racetrack there. Landlord is in P3, 128.162. So that'll be the benchmark, I think, for our champion to try and match, as well as obviously Imri. and Saki up front in front of him as well. We can see Grimio, we know he can get it within those 27s. 1 minute 5.8 in the second split. Slow car there, that would be Imri, to my mind. But, yeah, there's Imri. Focus invalidated in the second run. We'll see where Grimio stacks up here after the last corner. And over the line, he goes fastest there by almost 2/10. Grimio on top, 1 minute 27.5. Duck goes fourth. Brilliant effort from the RB team. James yet to set a lap time. He's coming through the last corner now. We'll see where he emerges. Towards the line, 1 minute 28.165. It's enough for P6 in a minute. In the drop zone early on, Lucky Lambert, PJ Calvin, Touch Pope, Websy and Wisburn yet to set lap times. Websy across the line now for his first time run. Imri on used tyres there for that lap. Wisburn off the last corner. We'll see where he stacks up amongst the field across the line. 1 minute 28.790. That's in the drop zone. And that's well in the drop zone. Oh, Rambo's Lucky Lambert. Big spin on the exit of turn number 11. Saves it. Doesn't get away with anyone, but perhaps at a big risk to those tyres. I imagine he may have worn those a little bit. I said they're definitely scuffed now for the remainder of this session. And I'm hoping for his sake that was perhaps a used set from Q1 like Imri did, because that would be a fresh set he has for Q2 as well as a set of mediums too, which I imagine he won't want to use due to the lack of pace compared to everyone else on softs. Lucky into the pit lane. Grimio's fastest. I'm seeing a lot of conversation in the Discord server as it stands right now in terms of people asking who's on fresh sets, who's on that worn set from Q1. Obviously everyone will get fresh tyres for the pole position shootout in just under 10 minutes time. We don't know just yet as to who is on what tyres. Grimio is on used. So we're yet to see the pace these guys on fresh ones in this session. I imagine we may see it later on. JB into the pits, P5 right now. Of course, JB, I think one of the drivers that will be pleased with going back to the 25-point system. It's been commonly agreed on that he was perhaps the most hard done by over the course of the season with that system. The most times he placed in 9th or 10th in a race, of course, the top 8 scored points last season. So JB missed out a lot of points that he would have scored. James there pushing value in his efforts, so we'll look on to someone else here. Webbsy in the drop zone, of course, he's on a lap right now. I have to have a look. Okay, he's here. I imagine he's probably gone again. Yep, he's backing off. Yeah, definitely going again. Of course, the Sauber, one of the two new teams, caught his teammate, not here for tonight's race. So perhaps we'll see him for next week's race in Saudi Arabia. Once he backs off then, allows the Red Bull of Badman through. Badman P8 right now. 1 minute 28.2 his best effort as he comes towards the line. Just under 6 minutes to go. So time for one or maybe 2 more runs. Webbsy has got a lot of smoke on that a lot of tyre smoke in that car. That can be a concern. I imagine that's probably some visual glitch. Can't say I've seen that one before. Wisburn P11 there. Good, but not good enough. He's still just under a 10th inside the bottom 5. So he needs to find a little bit more. But he is on used soft tyres. So which I imagine he's got a fresh set waiting for him. Perhaps to go full beans at the end of this session. So Grimir on top then. Imri still following in second, Sakir in third, Flying Duck fourth, JB fifth, Landlord in sixth, James seventh, Batman eighth, Ethan ninth, and Crummy in 10th. With Crummy on a lap right now. Majority of cars in the pit lane here. Badman charging towards the line. It's 4 attempts up in sector 2. Let's see where he stacks up now. P3 on the board. I believe that's with fresh tyres on. Fantastic lap from the Red Bull. And I dare say that short of a lot of improvements, that'll more or less secure him into the next part of qualifying. That, of course, that crucial pole position shootout for the first qualifying session of the season. We get to see a lot more this time round in terms of who's got the pace in qualifying. Will that translate into the Grand Prix? Of course, no risk of weather changing over the course of this race weekend. Of course, we are in the deserts, in the Sakir Desert. Short of a meteorical miracle. Okay, I'm not going to try and get the words right. Short of a miracle in which we get a rainy race, which I imagine we won't be seeing tonight. It looks as though, obviously, there'll be no change to whether we're on the dry tyres throughout. Grimir retiring. 3 minutes to go, so he is more or less safe. He will no doubt race for pole position here tonight in a few minutes' time. Badman, I'd say, is probably safe as well. You never know. Everyone below him, everyone in the 28s, I feel, could potentially be concerned. Pope goes into 4th place. So that's half of the cars in slots that are going through, now in the 27s. The benchmark to beat now is 1 minute 28.165. That's held by James, who's coming out for his last run. There is your gaps right now. The entire top 15 covered by 1.1 seconds, which is fantastic to see. Second sector. Not improving. I imagine he's going to want to go again here. But has he got time to get into the pit lane and get back out again if that's what he's doing? And both Williams cars not looking too good for them right now. PJ over the line to start will most likely be either his penultimate or last lap of the session. Join those Ferraris to the back of the grid. Landlord's at the racetrack because Landlord is a concern here. He is on the cut line right now. Because with the recent improvement of Pope, that will knocks Landlord down to 10th and crucially knocks James out of qualifying. Both those two cars are on outlaps here. To get very close, very dicey in the late stage of the session between these guys to see just about who will take position, who will take one of the final 10 spots in the third part of qualifying. Pope retiring. Badman, I imagine, may retire shortly. That will stick it out in the pits. Both Red Bulls look set to go through right now. Sakir looks to be safe, but could be at risk if everyone starts improving. Flying Duck over the line, start his last lap. Into the final minute now. Lucky Lambert has got a minute to get back to the line. Otherwise, he could be at risk of going out qualifying unless no one behind him improves. JB's got a minute to make it. Both McLarens in your shot there, P9 and P10. Lucky is obviously on a lap, but he's going to make it back to the line in time. It's going to be very close from here, I think, as to whether or not he makes it. No ERS being used. He's saving it all for that last run. It's going to be tight for these two McLarens as they run towards the line. Both Aston Martins crossing the line now. Sakir in 7th place. Wisburn improved, but not enough. It looks like he's out qualifying. JB will make it. Looks like Lucky will make it too. So both McLarens get one last effort in. The checker flag has now fallen. James over the line. James goes fastest. What a turnaround from the RB. James, 1 minute 27.3. And that will knock JB out of qualifying and crucially knock Landlord further into the bottom 5. Landlord's a 10th up in the first sector. See if he can maintain that. JB, now the first car inside the drop zone. Lucky on the bubble. Neither car improving right now. That could be costly for McLarens should Landlord improve. Landlord's 2 tenths up. I think it's fair to say he'll most likely be through the next part of qualifying. Down to P13. Websy crosses the line, goes P9, but could still get knocked out. Wisburn has not improved in the first sector. Landlord towards the line now to get himself through to Q3. Over the line for P3 in the end. Just behind his teammate by 0.03 of a second. Sakir down to P9 now. And we are starting to see those laps on fresh tyres trickle through. Sakir giving his teammate Wisburn a tow there. He needs a good 4 tenths or so to get through to the top 10 shootout. Can he pull it off? P14 in the end for him. Wisburn out qualifying. What can the McLarens do? JB improves to P11. Lucky improves to P10. Knocks Websy out. And that will cap us for qualifying 2. Websy, JB, Flying Duck, Wisburn, and Ethan. 5 different manufacturers, all out of qualifying. And we now have our top 10 for the shootout. Gaming James fastest with a ripper of a lap there in Q2. Fantastic end to this session. And that's just a preview of what's to come across the season, both Q1 and Q2, in the events we have a full grid. 5 drivers all getting knocked out. James is fastest then. Grimio 2nd, Landlord in 3rd, Imri 4th, Badman 5th, Pope 6th, Croby 7th, PJ 8th, Sakir 9th, and Lucky Lambert, the last car through the shootout, by 11 thousandths of a second over Websy. JB, Flying Duck, Wisburn, and Ethan all joining with the Kicksabber machine in the bottom 5. So there we go then. This is for all the marbles. The first Q3 session of the season. And now we'll see who's got the stuff to lead us to the first corner in the Bahrain Grand Prix tonight. A number of teams have both their cars into the third part of qualifying. Mercedes have both their cars through. Imri and Pope. It's both Haas cars. Grimio and Landor, as expected, are both through. And the Red Bulls both through. Badman and Crovey. PJ, Lucky, Gaming James and Sakir, all the lone cars for their constructors, making it into the shootout for pole position. 12 minutes to come. See who will nab pole. Of course, it's tough to choose a favourite going into this session. Of course, Imri topped the first session. James topped the second session. Both Haas cars are about there in the late stages. Sakir could be a dark horse for pole. The Red Bulls could play a factor. And keep an eye on Lucky and PJ, who could nab a place higher up inside the top 10. All will be decided over the next just over 10 minutes of solid pace-driven hot laps. With PJ there. Of course, PJ serving as the RDL's most recent first-time winner with the victory in Brazil just a few weeks ago. Looking to continue that momentum into this season. We'll see as to whether or not he can pull it off. First car through again is the Aston Martin of Sakir. Imri just behind him, so those two have been the first cars out on track for a while here. Off the final corner now. Fresh softs on those cars. At least I assume fresh softs. If not, we'll be going for on the last run. And the first laps of qualifying get underway. The first laps of qualifying 3. Good start from the Aston Martin. Look at the line they run there. Half the car off the circuit completely. You can see a bit of a slider in entry, and that's the change in handling that some of these guys need to adapt to. So Kears and validated. We'll go to Imri here. Imri's lap still valid. 28.1 in the first sector. You can see him really going for it there. At the end of the first sector, going into the chicane. Into turns 9 and 10. Keeping it off the curb. Perhaps not getting as close to that inside line as he might have wanted to. Second sector there, 1 minute 5.563. Everyone except for Lucky and Landlord on the racetrack right now. All of them on time laps except for Badman, who is out of the pit lane on his out lap. Imri will come through and set the first time in Q3. He'll set the benchmark for provisional pole. Comes towards the line, 1 minute 27.2. And that, I believe, is slower than Gaming James' time was in the end of Q2. We'll keep an eye on what James is doing here. Good run so far. Let's give Red Bull a bad man there in the distance. Solid second sector for James. We'll see where he emerges in the order. Of course, a few cars set himself amongst early on. Pope has gone third, 1 minute 27.6. He's doing remarkably well on his return. I assume we get to ask him about it later. James over the line here, 1 minute 28.1. Badman through now to start his first time lap of qualifying 3. Lalo down the racetrack. We'll see where Grimio stacks himself. Here comes the reigning champion towards the line. His first time, 1 minute 26.998. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the pace of the current champion. 7-time series champ looking to kickstart his title defense here tonight. And he has put down the marker. Imri in the pit lane, perhaps in mind, think he's got to do a little bit more in order to beat that Haas. Of course, the thing that for Imri he's got to think about this season is that, of course, early on in last season there were a fair number of incidents in the early stages across the entire field. Imri was swept up in a few of those. And it wasn't really until Imola, which was about 6 or 7 rounds in, that he really started to come into his own, and that's when we started to see him challenge him more. And what more could he have done, perhaps, with those first few rounds? So given he seems on form tonight, we'll see just what he's got and see if because he was still a challenge to the cars around, especially in this opening race in Bahrain. He was part of what looked to be an all-conquering Ferrari pairing of himself and formerly Nicholas, who of course swept the first 4 races before leaving the league. Grimio imagine pit lane this time. 5.5 minutes still to come. Majority of cars in the pits. As of right now, the order goes Grimio, Imri, Crovey, Pope, Badman, James, and PJ. Lucky still in the pits. Landlord on a lap. Secure in the pit lane himself. 5.6 in the second sector from last season's runner-up. Of course, a three-time series champion in his own right. Off the final corner now and towards the line. 1 minute 27.2. That's enough for the Houses to go sweeping the front row, locking it out for everyone to try and follow them. There might be a new game, but these two are still on it, throwing down the benchmark and turning to the field and just saying, beat that. And we'll see just what the rest of the 8 cars in this session can do to respond. Badman across the line here into the pit lane. 6th place right now, behind his teammate Crovey, who's in P4 as it stands. I get the feeling we're going to see a fair number of sort of mixed up grids in terms of, we'll have drivers in terms of raw pace will be up there, but there'll be a lot more variety with the nature of these sessions. There'll be a sense of tyre strategy being put into play in order to give yourself the best possible chance on each run. Emery getting those tyres right up to temperature as he rounds the final 2 corners. On the exit, nearing 280 kilometers an hour. Hitting 300 as he crossed the line to start what could be his second to last lap. 3 minutes to go. We'll start seeing drivers emerging slowly, I imagine. Lalo will be coming to pit side, no doubt. Here he comes. And Lucky Lambert is through towards the line to start what will be looking like most likely one of his final runs. Here comes one of the Red Bulls out on the racetrack. That will be. I'm not sure who that will be. I think that would be Crovey, who's out on the racetrack. So just under 3 minutes left. Emery knows he needs something special to get himself back on the front row. It's close to him and Lambert at the minute. What can he do? Always a 10.5 up. In terms of the gap, he needs just under 3/10 in order to take that pole position. He's got to knock it out of the park here. So all his battery into this last attempt towards the line. Can he do it? Can't quite. Puts himself back on the front row. But 22 thousandths of a second is all that separates Emery from pole. And I think that might be all he could have done. Oh, car goes off. Crash from Crovey there. On the exit. I'm sorry, midway towards between turn 10 and 11. And our first crash of the season goes to Crovey in the Red Bull P4 with the best he can get out of that. We'll see if the cars around him can improve. Not quite sure what happened there. He just sort of lost it. I'm sure we'll get an explanation as to what actually happened to him. Here comes Pope here into the last corner. This will be his final lap of the session. Crovey was saying he was warming up the tyres going on to that last run and just lost the back end of it. Pope into turn 1. 2 cars on out laps there. What in P6 and P7? James over the line to start will be his final run. We'll see what he's got to offer. Given how he brought Q2 to an end, we'll see if he can put himself among the Haas cars and Emery. Badman comes in to start his last lap. So Kia yet to set time. Emery up there on the outside of the racetrack at turn 12 and 13. Oh, car goes off there. That's the Williams of PJ off in the gravel. I imagine, PJ, that would be your qualifying over, my friend. as the checker flag is about to fall on this session. Lucky Lama goes up to P6. I think he's more or less done. The two Mercedes cars there. Imri may give him Pope a toe. He's up by a 10th in the second sector. Will that toe have helped? Can he get us back onto the second row? He can, into P4. Haas Mercedes in full formation there. Cruvy, Lucky and PJ all out. We wait for a few more cars here. Imri retiring. Here comes James towards the line. James goes P3. Disrupts the order. Fantastic lap from the RB. Of course, the driver who contended for victory back in the Netherlands last season but lost out to the cars surrounding him. In particular, our provisional pole sitter, who's up by another 10th. He doesn't even need that 10th. He's charging towards the line though. And Grumio to cap it off, 126.883. Perhaps put in pole that little bit out of reach. Batman over the line for P6. Sakir charging towards the line for his first lap of the session, puts himself P5. And Landlord crosses as well. And Grumio then takes the first pole position of the season to kick off his title defence. Joining him in the front row will be Imri. They'll be side by side on the run towards that first corner. James finishes third in qualifying, Landlord fourth, Sakir in fifth, Pope in sixth, Batman seventh, Krubby eighth, Lucky ninth, and PJ rounds off your top 10. That is qualifying. That'll be in a few minutes' time to start the Grand Prix. So here we go then. This is where it all comes together for the opening race of the Racers Driving League Season 17. The Bahrain Grand Prix here, moments away from getting underway. And we're in for 29 fantastic laps of action. There is the circuit. Of course, your previous winner, Ryan Nicholas in the Ferrari. There was a large train of cars that were really fighting position, several different teams. And it was the Ferraris who emerged on top that day. Nicholas going on to take the first of 4 consecutive victories to open the season before departing the league. That then handed the reins to Salvi Grumio, who went on, of course, to win the title and comes in today as the reigning champion and the pole sitter. For those of you who just joined us a few moments ago, welcome to the stream. I do hope if you have been here, I do hope you've been enjoying it so far. I haven't done full quali in quite a while, commentary-wise, so I hope we did a good enough job for you guys. But we are here now getting ready for the start of what should be a very, very exciting race. There is your circuit on the screen again. And I'll take you through the full 17-car starting lineup in a few minutes' time. Of course, only 17 on the grid tonight. We are missing several drivers. So drivers we're missing being both Alpines, that'll be Curtis and Alvar. And we're also missing Cott in the Sauber. So Webbsy on his own for the Kicksauber team in their first race in the RDL. Visa RB also, of course, in their first race, having rebranded from AlphaTauri at the end of season 16. And we are now moments away from the start of the formation lap. A very tense centre qualifying, including a late crash from Krobi, a season start slightly further down inside the top 10 than he might have expected. Ran as high as P4 at one stage before being overhauled by the cars behind. And that'll be just how crucial that extra second run is over the course of Q3 across the season. I'll be getting drivers readying up now. set up supply. They're all set to go. I'll be able to take you through the starting lineup in a few moments. So the first 25 points of the season on offer here. So here we go for the formation lap. We'll take you through the starting lineup from the back of the grid for this Bahrain Grand Prix. Starting at the back, it is the two Ferraris. Connie Goblin from P17, all by himself on row 9. Red J in P16. In terms of tyres, those guys starting to start on this. Different choice though. Oh, it appears that Connie Goblin has not pulled away from the line. That could be a concern. He'll be locked into a starting place for the start of the Grand Prix. Red J disqualified too. Ethan disqualified. Ethan starts on P15 on the medium tyres. Winsburn starts on 14th for Aston Martin. He's on the mediums. Mediums, the majority tyre of choice for the field tonight. Flying Duck, of course, one of the debutants in last season. First full-time season in the RB, lands at P13. JB, first race in McLaren. Will be hoping to get himself inside that top 10 like he did several times last season without scoring points. Websy, one of two starts on the soft tyres, lines up P11. The only Sauber on the grid, of course, Cop being his teammate, hopefully be back next week. PJ, of course, our most recent first-time winner, lines up on the outside of row 5. He starts on P10 for Williams. Lucky Lambert, the lead McLaren today, in P9. Crowley in P8 alongside Badman, his teammate Crowley, the late spin in quali, depriving him of that second run. Pope starts 6th in his return to full-time racing in the league after 2 seasons in commentary with us. Sakir lines up in 5th place, again, one of the debutants from last season, adapted very well, and now looking to lead a full assault for Aston. Landlord, the run-up from last season in the championship, looking to begin his push for a 4th Drivers' Championship. Gaming James starts 3rd. Close first-time winner last season, didn't quite manage to finish the job, was beaten by the 2 cars on the front row. Imri lines up 2nd, and Grumio, your reigning champion, starts from pole. So here we go, the moment of truth. The drivers taking their places now on the starting grid. And we'll see just what these new cars have to offer. It's fantastic to actually be able to see them on the main straight this time around. Of course, the fog in last year's going to be a big problem. Not so much a problem this time around. Grumio disqualified, went too far forward in his grid box. Sakir also doing the same thing. Everyone lining up now. Wisdom, the last car, take his place on the grid there. And flying up alongside him. And here we go. What we've all been waiting for. The lights here in Bahrain to kick off season 17 of the Races Driving League. Websy jump start, it's lights out, foot to the floor. And we are underway. Websy disqualified already for a severe collision with Lucky. Oh, contact at the start. One of the Aston Martins of the circuit. Big trouble on the opening lap here. Websy out already. Sakir down the order. Grumio leads into the first corner. James in 2nd place. Imri down to 3rd. Crowley 4th. Pope 5th. Batman 6th. Oh, cargo off there. That's one of the McLarens. That's Lucky Lambert off the circuit at turn 3. It's been a chaotic start for some of these guys, but we have got a leader. Gaming James taking Grumio. The RB driver moves into the lead for the first time here on lap 1 through the first sector. He is away. Grumio in 2nd now, and Imri might try and pounce as well, trying to take a spot back. What a getaway from the RB there. He leads away. Websy already out. Lucky Lambert down the order. Sakir, unsure if he's got damage, hit one of the barriers there. Not one of the barriers. One of the markers for braking going into the first corner. I think Landau had an altercation with him there. Unsure. So we won't pass comment as to who will be taking the blame for that. We'll let the stewards handle that. But in terms of racing on track, Grumio is still there right behind James as they run through all single file as they charge towards the last corner of the circuit to complete the first of 29 laps in this Grand Prix. And of course, a crucial factor coming into play early on here. As we cross the line, race control will enable DRS. James sets the fastest up of the Grand Prix, 1 minute 33.9. And here comes the first detection point. James locked up a little bit there going into the first corner. Everyone ran nose to tail here. Pope right on the back of Crowley as they run through turns 1 and 2. Falls away a bit. Imri right on the tail of the champion on the exit. We've got a good run on James as they charge towards turn 4. No one gets the edge. Everyone stays where they are for a minute. James then holding a slim lead over two very big names in this series. Of course, Imri's only been around for a short while, but he's taken this claim. Grumio doesn't really need to be said what he's achieved already in this championship, in this series, in this league. He'll be wanting P1 back. We've seen what the kind of driver he's like. But James he's got the advantage to the minute, but not using his battery. Grumio not using his, but will maintain position. All three of these guys, no one giving an inch here. Imri looks to make a move here. Looks to the inside, couldn't quite do it. Grumio trying the inside of James through turn 12, not a chance. And for now, James maintains his lead. The top four on a breakaway there. Pope a bit further back, almost out of DRS range. Batman behind him. You can see Grumio just looking there for any sort of sliver of opportunity. But here comes his best chance. Down the main straight, looking for the race lead. Medium ERS being used. Overtake for James now briefly. Crowe says as fast as lap, but Grumio goes back through to the inside. And Grumio will retake the race lead into turn 1. On to lap 3 now this race. James will get DRS back. Oh, a bit of a wobble there on the exit, or going towards turn 2. We're looking just for an opening. He's not quite close to go for a move just yet. Further back here, Connie Goblin falling away from the rest of the field. Lucky Lambert there in P15. Unable to really recover from that incident on the first lap. Sakir in P14. Two very good drivers made Q3. Unfortunately, declining through the order early on. Red Jay to P11 now. Of course, it took a while for Red Jay to nab some points. It took to Brazil of last season. The device to add some more here. The top 10 point system now back in effect for season 17. PJ in P7 there. Chasing Badman, who's chasing Pope. Up front, it's about 7 tenths to Crowley, who's chasing Imri. Looking to try and stay with this lead pack. Grumio pulling away though, he's got a gap of almost a second over James. And make that over a second now. And that'll mean James is out of DRS range and will fall prey, chances are, to the rest of the field. But James uses his overtake to get himself back in range. A lot of battery being used already, so you can see a lot of red lights flashing on the back of these machines. That'll be the telltale sign that he's got the battery charge is under 10%. James trying to close that gap once again. Pope closing on Crowley, won't go for it. You can see the intention in the former champion of season 11, long time ago now. That was back on F1 2021. Almost 3 years since he took the title. Badman to his inside though, going towards turn 4. Pope goes in the oh, contact! And I think I saw a bit of damage there. Pope is still trying to force her back around him. Mercedes v Red Bull in Bahrain getting heated at turn 4. Where have I seen that before? I ask everybody watching the stream. Batman pulls away. He's got P5 secure for now, but Pope will never be coming back at him. A lot of tyre smoke there. Flying up, going a bit wider there. Perhaps avoid running into JB and PJ in front. Ethan passing Sakir for P13 now. These two side by side. The Williams nips in front. Landlord on the comeback now, getting back around Red J for P11. Landlord, one of just 2 drivers on those hard tyres. He joins Courtney Goblin, who sits 10 seconds back from Sakir at the minute, and Lucky a further 4.5 behind. Up front though, still Grumio. Down the main straight, easy 4-car breakaway here. All of them have got DRS, save for our race leader. Look how much Grumio, look how much James pulls back. Pope passing Badman again into turn 1. Badman attempting a switch back, going back and forth, trying to find an opening. He's there on the inside, he's going to DRS once again. Side by side with the silver arrows, they head towards the corner. On exit, these two give each other a nice amount of room there. Still going at it though, into the chicane. Someone's got to give. It's Badman who gives. Pope maintains the position, and PJ might try and counter too. Not close to just yet. Oh, almost 3 wide going into the corner. Flying duck with a very audacious attempt there. And he almost made it work. JB in P8 right now. no matter what point system we'd be on now, he'd be pleased right now as he'd be scoring points. Grumio leads. Not exactly extending that advantage right now. He's still just about in DRS range. James is there, waiting for some form of opportunity, some kind of slip up. But I think we all know that that'd be hard to come by, given who he's chasing, regardless of what car he's in. Thanks to obviously performance. Of course, big talk recently being that Alpine have the advantage there, so it's fortunate that neither one of those two cars are in the race tonight. But of course, we would like to see both Alvar and Curtis back on the grid next week for Saudi Arabia. Lock up again from James there. DRS will deploy. It's a sense of stalemate here. No one really close to make a move, so the action's all going on behind them. This big train being led by Pope. So the train goes down to P10. So Lau's got some work to do to close in. Sakir around both Brent and Ethan now. Oh, we've got a random during the session. I'm unsure as to who that would be. Hopefully that they depart. Up front, Imri is there. He's close to James. He's close to James, and James is to Romeo. It's a bit wide there through turn number 11. Can't quite do anything just yet. These guys have developed a 4.4 second advantage from Crowley to Pope. Batman is there again, looking to close. He's going to have DRS this time, so don't need to go for a move just yet. Pope is a bit of a wobble mid-corner. We'll see what these guys behind can do. 5, 6 cars all together as they charge towards turn 1. Batman to the outside of the racetrack takes the place over Pope, but Pope's still there on the inside. He'll have DRS. Batman gets a bit out of shape there. Red Jay and Sakir fighting for P12. Pope all the way to the right side of the racetrack there. What a move from the Mercedes. But Batman might try and switch back here. He will switch back, but doesn't quite get the momentum he needs. Hang on, he's there now. Side by side in the chicane. No one gives up the fight, but Pope wins out. And PJ to the outside now. Batman underneath. Still going at it. What a scrap this is. And behind them, PJ, JB, Flying Duck, all looking to creep in. Wisburn there too. They're still side by side. And look who's just joined the party. Landlord is there behind them. Side by side again. Pope making another move for P5 as they charge into the left-hander. What a fantastic pack of cars this is. 7 cars all dueling for P5. All scrapping out for position. Batman is right there. And I think for now, Pope has won out. So we'll get a minute to breathe on this straight before DRS comes back into play. And they'll do it all over again. Keep an eye on this near pack because one of these cars will end up without points. Coming into this Grand Prix, we're onto that pay. Lyle's going for it here. So they get 3 wide. Almost hit 3 wide. Flying Duck drops back here. Didn't get as good an exit. Land. Oh, they're making a move behind them. Sakir. So Ethan and Reg are going at it. Bit of ghosting there. Not ideal. Batman. Oh, contact. Oh, car off. Big crash test. Both Batman and Pope. Batman's out. Pope carries on. Safety car deployed. Big shunt there off turn 2. And I guess that scrap was just a little bit too far in the end. Here comes the Mercedes safety car out onto the racetrack. And Batman's first race of the season is brought to an unfortunate end. He becomes the first retiree of the first actual retiree, thanks to Webster's early disqualification. Safety car is out. You see the lights there on the main straight. And I imagine there'll be minced words there after the race. Grimmer's advantage now brought down to nothing. But I imagine that we could be in range for the first pit stops of the Grand Prix here. just saying how close we are to that pit window, and obviously the fact that I'm thinking the mediums perhaps aren't as durable on this game as they were on the last one. Any of you who have seen my first Chromo video, I had to do a 2-stop there, as I get my weekly promo out of the way for the rest of the channel. So make sure to subscribe if you are new for obviously not only this, but obviously future Chromo content. New episode uploaded today. In come the leaders then. That top 4 have been dominant in the first stage of this race. Romeo is in, James in second, Imrie third, Crowley fourth. 4 separate teams here. I imagine we'll see everyone coming in thanks to the fact they're all using medium tyres. I imagine Popeye's got wing damage here. Well, let's have a look. Everyone's in, but mixed tyres going on here. Imrie. Medium tyres going on, and a wing change too. Oh. Well, I understand that. Front wing change for Imrie, but looks eventually maintains his position. But Imrie, the one car on medium tyres here. Lando onto soft, so it looks like he's probably have to pit one more time to get to the end of this thing. That's banking on there being another safety car. So this moves the majority of that pack up the order. PJ now assumes P5. It's JB behind him, then Whizburn, Flying Duck, Lionel, and Red J rounding out your points places. Ethan in P11, Sakir P12. Pope now back on the racetrack, medium tyres on that car, he's down to P13. Company got him in 14th, and Lucky Lambo. These two will get a chance to catch back up. But it's got to give him for the restart. So of course we can now take a bit of time to sort of process the first 10 laps of this Grand Prix, because it's been non-stop action since the lights went out. James, of course, was right there on the start, pulling no punches, and went from 3rd on the grid to 1st within just 4 corners. Led away, of course, Grimio took it back from him, and those two went back and forth briefly until Grimio had eventually assumed the lead and started to flex some muscle, pulling out his advantage. He's held the lead for the majority of the way so far until this first safety car's come out. So everyone now all joined up. I imagine that now everyone is here, we'll be able to go next time by. There is the entire 15 car pack still in the race there in front of you. In terms of tyre choices then, so of course the two main outliers in the top 10 being Imrie and Lionel. Imrie on the mediums and Lionel on the softs. So I imagine, as I say, Lionel's probably going to make another pit stop. Imrie could theoretically maybe run those tyres at the end. It'd be very, very difficult, but I mean, you never know. I think the one stop is probably the preferred strategy of choice. Everyone onto hard tyres going to the end of the Grand Prix. But perhaps if we get another safety car late in the game, that could change things. Of course, there's also the argument that if it comes late enough, then everyone will go on to soft tyres, and track position will be null and void, and everyone will just go for it at the end. So, with 19 laps to go, still all to play for here in Bahrain. It's been a long evening, of course. The full qualifying adding another 40 minutes or so into the stream. And the very moments before we go underway on the safety car, I would like to point out something that I'd like to try out. So this is a fun fact for you about this about today's race. This is the first time in the channel history that we are seeing the first RDL race on a brand new game. F1 2021, I was not there for the launch. F1 22, with Crossbow wasn't enabled yet, so I couldn't commentate. And then last year, at this time, my game crashed, and I wasn't able to get into qualifying. I wasn't able to get into the lobby, and everything went dark for a week until we get back on the way in Jeddah. But this is the first time we're getting a game opening race on the channel. So that is your fact for the week. I'll try and do some more of those as the race goes on. But sorry, as the races of the season go on. And meanwhile, while getting set for the restart, where will Grumio go? He chooses a good time for exit. He's left James for dust there. Back on the way on lap 11. James is right there though. What a start. A lot of battery used there. But James now to the inside. They go side by side into turn 1. And James takes the lead. Imrie there on the outside of Pope, on the outside of Grumio, as James looks to break away. He's done a canter here as Imrie's to the outside of the racetrack. Oh, into the braking zone, very tight there. Imrie had to back up quite a bit. Grumio starting the exit, these two not giving in. Landlock getting to work. Landlock's on the place already as well. JB into P5, he's just managed to get around PJ for position. Imrie and Grumio still side by side here. Imrie not willing to get a bit of contact between the pair of them. James is breaking away. Grumio outbreaks the Mercedes, who comes back at him on the exit. Switch back from Imrie. As we run towards turn 11, the left-hander again. Imrie looks to have the edge on Grumio. He'll take P2. And on exit will maintain the place. JB and P5 behind them. Landlock 2 spots from this restart. Flying Duck and PJ side by side. It's Duck who wins out this occasion. Red J in the points here. Over that curve at turn 12, very, very dangerous there. Could have, in terms of danger to potentially his own race, could have spun out. And moving Sakir all the way to the right side of the racetrack. He's got Pope behind him for company there. 2 drivers with less than a season experience under their belt against the former champion. Sakir may have felt the force of Pope there. DRS back in play. Pope following Redley down the main straight towards turn 1. Landlord passing Wisburn. Good exit from the half. He'll try and close on JB now. Those soft tyres working to his credit. Imrie closing on James. Oh, into the braking zone. Very tight there. And narrowly avoided hitting the RB. What a run this has been so far. What a restart we just had. Grumio down 2 places. In terms of places gained and lost so far in this race, let's have a look at those, shall we? As we normally do. The driver getting the most places so far is Wisburn. He's up 7 from his original starting position of P14. The biggest dropper is gone the other way. Oh, sorry, I'm missing out JB, who's also gained 7 places starting from P12. Sakir is the biggest dropper. He's lost 7. It was 6 for a second. He's gone side by side with Red J. Make that still 6, but he's still dropped the most places. Of course, that only this stat only applies to active drivers still running in the Grand Prix. And there are your tyres. That's your tyre situation once again. Pope back in the points now. Looking to get to work on hunting down PJ in P9. Imrie right on the tail of James. It's a long train. Again, you can still sort of see the top 4. They're pulling. Oh, Liz Collins. And there goes James off the circuit. James loses a chunk of his wing, and that could spell the end of the early dream of the first win of the season for Gaming James in the RB. Not sure if there was contact there, but it was just a spin on the exit, but Imrie now assumes the lead. And for these top 3, if Landon now joins the fray, it is business as usual. James is in. Wing change being made. The RB team no doubt gutted with that. Their points chances now mostly sitting with Flying Duck in P6. I won't count James out just yet in case they get a safety car, because he's got the pace to come back through the field. But whether it be enough for the victory, that could be out the question as James emerges from the pit lane back off into turn 1. Medium tyres. Imrie now has got a bit of a cushion over Grumio. He's got almost a second as it stands. Probably still in P4. JB is with these guys as well. He's pulled away from Flying Duck he's about 2.5 seconds in front. JB is on a mission right now. Of course, wasn't here for the last race of F1 23 2 weeks ago in Abu Dhabi. Of course, that race being won by the man in second place. But keep an eye on JB, who could be in this fight this time around. behind him here. Things look to have settled down a bit. Pope into P9 now, thanks to that stop from James. Imre sets the fastest lap, 1 minute 30.152. Landlord takes Grumio. And we could start to see the two Haas teammates go at it, which is always entertaining to see, given who it is. Imre a bit deep in turn 1 there. He's going to lose a lot of time. And Landlord, as he arrives on the scene, may just take the lead away too. He's gone to the inside of the racetrack. Those soft tyres working too perfectly. And Landlord, locking up there, gives Imre a lifeline in an attempt to claim the lead, but can't quite do it. Landlord takes the lead for the first time tonight. Grumio now in third place, watching his teammate and arguably one of his newest and strongest rivals there, dancing for position in front of him. Krovi in fourth, JB in fifth. These two watching it pan out, but perhaps wishing they could be part of the action too. DRS deployed. Pope making a move on Wisburn here. We're looking like a move on Wisburn. Was it the inside? Didn't quite make it happen. Back up front. It's still Landlord now. Two Ferrari teammates trying to nose to tail here. Red J and Connie Goblin. Lucky Lambert and Ethan close together. So Sakir holds the last point right now. Pope and P9 currently hunting down Wisburn still. He's right there behind him. Let's go. PJ flying up there in front. There's a top 5 train. It's Imre. He tries to take the lead back from Landlord. He's going to do that. He needs to hit his marks going into turn 1. Grumio is there. Double whammy for Landlord, who falls back 2 places. Probably a bit of a slide in the exit of turn 1. JB not close to counter. Both Haas cars advancing on Imre. Neither one of them quite close enough to go for it there. At the halfway stage of this Bahrain Grand Prix, still a long way to go. Imre's in control right now. The medium tyres are working perhaps as good as Landlord's softs. But of course he will need to manage those tyres, that or bank on them in a late safety car. The majority of the field bunched together here. Because the only car by himself is James at the minute, who is closing on Red J. He's getting about a second or so in a couple of corners, so we could see him trying to rejoin the fray in a few laps time to keep him that pace. Keep an eye on sort of when we get towards sort of lap 20, lap 22. He's almost he's in the half second in the time it took me to say that. Grumio then off the last corner. The duel begins again between Imre and Grumio. Can Landlord get involved? Not close enough, but Grumio is. It's the inside of the racetrack on the right hand side of the circuit and back in the lead at turn 1. And Landlord's close. Imre perhaps a little bit under pressure in a Haas sandwich right now. Not a nice place to be, I can tell you that. And behind him, the train for P6 backwards will start to reform. And it's about 4.5 to Krovi and JB in front of them. So Grumio now leads, he's in control. Imre perhaps a bit too far out to come out through this DRS zone, but he has to gain a bit back through the last sector to have a good run down the main straight. Into turn 12. Probably getting close here. Looks like he wants to try and get involved in this state of affairs in the top 3. Grumio is pulling away as he was earlier. Imre's still in DRS range, and I think these next few straights will be crucial for him to actually maintain a position in which he can try and fight for the lead. That he may lose up to Landlord on the exit. DRS deploys both cars here. Imre, great run there. Getting a lot of time back. Landlord has got no response, can't quite close. There he goes, very close to the back of Grimio's machine when he moved out, but takes the lead back. Grimio slammed the exit, and that'll allow Imri to solidify that advantage, at least for now, because I imagine these guys will be going back and forth with it. Krovi there behind him. Krovi and JB are keeping pace with these guys, which is always respectable to see. But I imagine they want to get involved in this one too, but just can't. They're just out. They're just a little bit out of range right now. Behind them, Duck still maintaining P6. But he's about 7/10 in front of PJ. Another 8 back to Wisburn. He's got Sakira's teammate on his tail. And Pope there. Perhaps been given a bit of a hard time by these guys. But of course, with a bit of work, can get back to his near about his original position. This champ's taken back to P6, which is where he started, so I imagine he'll be somewhat satisfied with that. But perhaps disappointed knowing that the pace was there. Imri dives into the pit lane. And that'll bring an end to his second stint. And as Landlord tucks the lead back from Grimio, you start to wonder perhaps when Landlord will bite the bullet. Imri changes onto hard tyres here. Lucky Lambert and Ethan side by side towards turn 1. Lucky gets the edge on this occasion. He now takes the last points paying place, but they're going to have that Mercedes charging out. And here come both Ferraris here. Courtney and Reggie, because Imri's old teammate. Courtney gives Imri the room. Reggie with the backing up Courtney there may try and get around this team. Let's see the 2 red cars go at it towards turn 4. Grimio starts the lead back from Landlord there. Proby and JB now 3rd and 4th. A bit closer to this train now. These two are definitely there. But the 2 teammates now look to do it once again. Now, has Imri shot himself in the foot here with this strategy? Because he'll need something quite drastic to happen. He's in P12 right now. No points on offer for that. He needs to rely on there being another stop. And I imagine the majority of these guys will be trying to take their hard tyres into the Grand Prix. We've got just over 10 laps to go. Landlord to the inside, takes the lead back. Krovi's there too. JB as well. Landlord back in the lead. Flying Duck and Wisburn. Oh, was 3 wide there into turn 1. Flying Duck maintains P5 now. Look at this pack of cars here. Of these 5 cars, PJ and Pope, the only other hands in that group. Wisburn, Flying Duck, Sakir, all of them new drivers last season. Sakir, I thought he was going to go for the inside there on PJ. That would have been very, very Daredevil-esque, but didn't quite go for it. Didn't go for it. Well, he might try here. Nope. I am hoping for something to happen, but it won't happen. Medium use of DRS for Duck is enough to maintain his position over Wisburn even with DRS. Grimio on overtake. Pushing back down to hot lap again. Trying to with Haas here. Oh, poor exit. And Landlord dives into the pit lane. That will move Grimio up into the lead outright. Krovi 2nd, JB now 3rd. And I think Krovi might now be hunting. Perhaps the fact that the win could be on for him potentially if he can find a way around Grimio. Which is easier said than done. But without 2 of his greatest adversaries across this Grand Prix tonight, no longer around him on the racetrack, that could give him a bit more breathing room. Landlord verging the pit lane here. He's going to get out just in front of Imri at the braking zone. So those 2 have got no to say on. I imagine they'll start working together to get through the field. 5 seconds back from Lucky. A lot of lockup smoke there going into turn 4. Sakir and Pope side by side. Pope takes P7. He's now racing for P4. Wisbon has managed to take it from flying duck with duck to the outside. Slide. Oh, a bit of a tap there from PJ to Duck. Pope and Zakir still going at it. Zakir gets the edge on this occasion. Pope backs out for turn 9. Perhaps banking on some kind of mistake over the curb there. Grimio with a large supply of ERS still left. JB's got about half his. Crowley struggling a bit. Duck is really hunting Wisburn now. As Aston Martin's accept some good points tonight, they can finish this out. Finish as high as P4 and P5, which would be a fantastic call. Especially given their tally over the course of last season. They'll be almost matching their tally from season 16 thanks to the old point system. Oh, PJ slides up. Sakir takes the chance, goes right in there, side by side. And Duck looking to make a move. Not close enough. Wisbon maintains that place. 5 cars, right nose to tail, poke to the inside of PJ. Landlord there in the top 10 now. Ethan into the pit lane. Soft tyres going on. He can stop either way. James is now joining the fray with the Ferraris now. To the outside of Connie Goblin into turn 1. Up front, the train maintaining its form. But Crowley almost out of DRS range now. Crowley perhaps sensing impending victory. James is there. Looking to make a move on Red J. When will he go for it? He can't lose too much more time. Lock up from the RB. Aston's now in P6 and P5. That's one place away from their maximum in tonight's race. Numbers 25 and 26. JB looking to make a move on Crowley now. Grimio pulling away to over a second advantage. Wisburn passing Duck. Landlord sets the fastest up of the race. Crowley comes back at JB for P2. And the more these two scrap, the more Grimio can now pull away. Yellow flags back there in turn 1. Looks like Duck had a coming together with someone. He's down the order. Lucky Lambert there, taking P9 away. The JB and P3 be a good haul of points for McLaren too. Emery perhaps has not done as well as he might have hoped here on those hard tyres. As Duck looks to make a move here on Lucky. Slight bit of contact there, you want to try and avoid that if you can. Gets in front going into turn 10. Seven laps to go and Grimio next cross the line. He's got 3 seconds now on JB and Crowley as those two fight for P2. Wisburn's got still holding on to P4, Sakir P5. Duck's mistake. Oh, wow. I didn't quite catch it, unfortunately. Oh, around goes Pope! Keeps it off the racing line, saves the car. But Pope now out of the points. Emery right behind Lucky now. It was lap 23 of the Grand Prix. Pope in the pit lane. Perhaps a set of soft tyres here. Indeed, soft's going on. Pushing for fastest lap maybe. Yellow flag into 3, and that is Connie Goblin. Safety car's been deployed. Well. Major change in this Grand Prix. Grimio's lead is diminished. And all of a sudden, we may have a race on our hands. And I imagine we're seeing everyone in for soft tyres to go to the end. We'll be getting a scrap about 4 or 5 laps or so to decide this thing. This race is not done serving up twists just yet. Grumio into the pit lane. Everyone coming in now. This order is not decided yet. It looked as though Grumio was going to cruise checker flag for his first win of another title defence. But we don't know just yet. Crowie's away. JB is not away just yet. There he goes. Grumio's expected to get back out in front. Both Astons in. A double stack could be costly. Thanks to how spaced out everyone is. I don't lose too much time, but a wing change for Sakir as well. That could cost Wisburn massively. Soft tyres going on for more or less everyone here. Yes, pretty much everyone. Everyone changing to soft. We have got a race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take this opportunity to nip to toilet. I'll be back in a moment or two. Okay, I am back. Apologies. Connie Golan gets our first penalty of the race. And it's been 24 laps. It's taking that to happen. 3 seconds going to his name. He's at the back of the pack right now, so it won't affect him too much. But now, ladies and gentlemen, now we're in for a sprint to finish off this Grand Prix. It'll more or less, I assume, be 4 laps to settle it. Which is plenty of time for drivers like Landlord, Imri to quickly dispatch those cars in front. Five laps to go. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this Grand Prix in particular will never, ever stop serving up drama. This race never disappoints. Especially in the late stages. I think back to the first Bahrain Grand Prix coming to this channel, like in season 12. Grumio was in the exact same spot, cruising towards victory, when with just 3 laps to go, or 2 laps to go, he spun out and landed in the gravel trap at the exit of turn 3. He recovered the car, but his huge lead was just gone completely. And he had to fend off the 2 Williams cars behind. Those 2 cars, I believe, were Paris and I want to say PJ. And PJ finds himself in a Williams here in P4, looking to nab a podium finish with the right restart. We'll just wait on Connie Goblin now to close up. I'm unsure if we'll get another lap behind the safety car. We'll see if race control gives us the go-to this time. He doesn't yet, but we could see it potentially deployed late. If Courtney catches up, I imagine that we may still get it. We'll keep an eye out. And I think this time will be a bit too late. Potentially, let's catch up now. Here we go. Well, very late call. Safety car is in. Grumio backs everyone up. An hour away. Good getaway. Grumio leads us now. The whole pack there. 15 cars. 4 laps settled. We're underway. Everyone following in Grumio's wake as we charge towards turn 1. Changes already. Landmark up to P4. Imrie got the place down to P7. That's tangled secure here in order to try and get that place back. The inside of the Aston Martin now, towards the corner. Imrie on the inside this time. He's preferred the outside quite a fair bit of course, over the course tonight. Secure off the circuit for a second. Imrie jumps in front. Grumio, half second in front for the minute. If Crowley can maintain that half second advantage, then DRS will be a crucial decider as to who wins this race, because no place in this Grand Prix is settled right now, save for P16 and P17, our 2 retirees. Any one of these drivers could finish in any of these places. Grumio leads. He's still at half second. Crowley is not letting him get away. The soft tyres doing their bit right now. These guys now all bunched up. Have to be careful penalty-wise. Into the final corner again. The first detection point will come at the entry to turn 1 and it'll be deployed on the exit of turn 3. 3 laps to settle it. Crowley sets fast up. That's a bonus point, provided he finishes in the top 10. He's closing to stay right there behind the Haas. Whole train right there. JB looking to hold on to a podium for McLaren. Crowley not gaining on the leader. And there goes Imrie to the inside of PJ into turn 4. Yellow flag, that's Pope around. Pope recovers it. Lucky drop back as well. And that'll be a frustrating end. Thanks to the first race of the season for the season 11 champion on his return. Red J and Ferrari knocked on the door of some points here. James is maintaining P9. Wisburn there behind him. Could one of the red cars break in? Grumio pulling away here. Those soft tyres working like a dream for him right now. He's got some work to do here. He's going to have 2 laps to try and get around this Haas, but he's got to close back up first. And JB looking to become a podium for McLaren. Flying duck penalty. That could move the Ferrari up into the points. Or whoever finishes in front of that little group. Crowley only just has DRS here, so that takes a lot of it. Grumio takes the fastest lap back. 26 points going his way, providing he can hold on to it. Landlord is there. It's turn 1, looking on JB. Side by side, through the first corner. JB nips in front. Crowley is there behind Grumio. They've both got about the same amount of battery here. Landlord is not quite around JB. Imrie penalty. And that will lose him a number of places here. These guys getting more and more reckless with their track limits towards the end of the race. It'll take us a minute or 2 after everyone's crossed the line to determine the final unofficial order. Which of course the game will sort for us. Now Crowley needs a good run here. He's got a lot of battery. These guys have gone on none in the first 2 couple sectors. Crowley closing in. The inside, didn't quite go for it, but just letting Grumio know that he's about. This race is set to go to the wire. It's been a fantastic evening so far. It had to come down to a safety car. These guys using battery here. They're keeping a good chunk of it for this main straight. Here we go. Another 4-car breakaway as we gear up for the final lap. This is the bell lap, the final tour. 1 to go here in Bahrain. Crowley with a great run to the outside. Looking for the lead for the first time today. Crowley takes the top spot. But Grumio comes back out on the inside. close to contact. Grimio's got DRS, he'll stay side by side. The Haas nipping in front. Here comes Landlord. Landlord there as a force to be reckoned with. A penalty for any of these guys could decide this one right here. JB sniffing there with a podium in his sights. If he can get around Landlord or someone get in front, gets a penalty. Half a lap left to go. Krovi's last chance may be down this next straight. He's going to need a good exit here. I think this time he's got to go for it, but perhaps not as good a run as he might have got last time. He's closing, but I think his window may have just slammed shut. Bit of a slide there. Emery holds on to P5. Sakir almost spinning, but maintains his composure around the outside of Emery for P4. P5, sorry. These two going at it. Cat and mouse. Krovi has given Grumio an incredible run over these last few laps, but it looks like he's going around to second place as the reigning champion comes off the final corner, runs towards the second flag, and Grumio will narrowly win the first race of the season. Krovi home in second, Landlord third, JB fourth, Emery across the line fifth, yellow flag, and that's Pope spun out. Sakir will take fifth in the end, PJ sixth, Emery seventh, Doug eighth, James ninth, and Red J will nab the final point. Ethan 11th, Courtney Goblin 12th, Lucky Lambert towards the line in 13th, Winsburn in 14th, and here comes Pope. Off the last corner for P15, crossing the line. But Grumio is the winner. Who else would it have been? Fantastic finish here in Bahrain, thoroughly enjoyable race. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. A number of solid results all down the field. Krovi gets his first podium. JB with an incredible fourth place. That race was turned on its head. Solid drive from everyone all around. And there he is. As he usually is, Grumio, your reigning champion, on top again here in Bahrain. Lifts the trophy. Fantastic job all round from the Haas team. A 1-3 in today's race. Krovi just about cutting in between them. And we are in for a season of what promises to be very exciting racing indeed, if it's anything like that was. Let's have a look at the final results, if the game will allow us to this year. No countdown yet, so I think we probably are safe. But that was a truly fantastic Grand Prix. And we'll get post-race interviews going shortly. Oh, okay, I have no results. That is fantastic. Well, that'll do it for the race. And post-race interviews will now open up. Let me know your thoughts down in the chat. That was excellent driving all around. So we'll see if we can get anyone in for this. Okay, we do have someone in here. James, you are here in the commentary box. Well, that was a that was quite a hectic opening race, wasn't it, mate? Give me your thoughts.
Yep, quite disappointing for me, I think, actually. It is spin, I think, lap 14 or something.
Around that, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't a great race for us, but still got double points.
Always good to see. I mean, of course, the start you made was absolutely excellent. Talk us through that, because that first lap was manic for you. Oh, he is Devon. That's probably not a good sign. We had the same sort of thing with Cot last season. Yeah, problems potentially. Oh, back. James not about for the minute. Might just try and get that working. Oh, we have JB here in the chat. JB, mate. I mean, I'm sure it's slightly gutted given the podium was there for you at the end, but honestly, P4 is still a fantastic result, mate. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know what to say really. I'm surprised because I thought I was a bit quicker in this game, but after the quali and I was down in 12th, and I thought, oh, it's just going to be the same thing again. But no, it's just I kept pace with the leaders, which was surprising. There was so much of an ERS game really, because you're constantly changing back and forth between different modes. Like I was using medium most of the time, but then I switched to hot lap on the straights or whatever. But yeah, it was really good racing at the front. I know there were some incidents further back, and I didn't.
Oh, as JB as JB stops working, James I think is back.
Yeah.
Yeah, James. Wait, talk. Oh, okay. Right, well, okay. This gonna be tough in terms of. Okay, right. Okay, James. I'll continue with you because you were here first. So yeah, talk me through the start because that was absolutely amazing. If I didn't mess this on myself.
Well, yeah, I mean, I knew I was running a bit lower wings than everyone else, so I thought if I got into front, I'd be not be very difficult for anyone to pass me. So I thought full push to first place, and hopefully just control the pace.
I mean, you were in control for the first couple of laps because Grimmer gave you a decent fight, and then of course later on, I don't like to explain, but obviously the spin there was that spin just by yourself or was there contact?
I think it was by myself, like, I'm not really sure what happened there. I mean, didn't really put any preparation into this because wasn't actually going to be racing tonight, so didn't actually simulate like the last half of the race.
Fair enough. I mean, to my mind, obviously while the result probably isn't what you're hoping for, you still have very good pace, so I think that's definitely something to take into the next race. In terms of next week's race, of course, Saudi Arabia next up, how is that as a track for you?
Well, I mean, I've been playing it quite a bit on this game, so I enjoy it, so I'm hoping to get at least a podium out of it. Can't wait for it, man.
Yeah, I'd say if you're any bit as quick as you were today, then I reckon you'll definitely be able to shout. As long as I think qualifying goes your way. I mean, you're fantastic in Q2. What do you think is the fastest time in Q2, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and of course P3 in the third round. So, all in all, I'd say despite the result, probably doesn't tell the whole story. If it was me, I'd say that's probably a good first outing. So, yeah. So positive to take into next week. So hopefully we will see you with that race. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
No worries. Of course, we move on to we do have Ethan here, but he is down for the minute, so I'm not sure what the plan is. I'm thinking with Xbox it's going to be a difficulty. I'm not sure what's going on with Xbox Discord because this happened with Cot. Ethan, yeah, that's right.
Oh, hello.
Hello, you just about got you back in there. Well, that was a manic race to say the least. I mean, how do you think your take on it?
It was an unbelievable race. Everyone was everywhere. It was absolute carnage at the start. There was so many people just like hitting each other, especially at the back. I think there was like 2 incidents where at least 4 cars went off. It was incredible. I managed to weave my way through. It's still only 11 because I got taken out at the end. I could have got points, but it was just a manic race. It must have been class for you to watch.
Oh yeah, I had a great time, me personally, but obviously my job's a bit more relaxed compared to what you guys have to do. I mean, in terms, of course, obviously we had several safety cars today. Did that play into your strategy at all?
It actually affected me quite a bit because I was on the mediums and I was going to take him into like lap 10-ish, and the safety car came out on lap 8. I was a bit screwed over, so now I have to go into the mediums again. I mean, the softs were good at the end, but I would have rather like made those mediums work a little bit longer and then gone to the hards, like the strategy told me to. But it worked. I was still on the point. I was aiming for 10, and I got close to 10, so that's what counts. I'm just, yeah, but it did mess up my strategy, yeah, a bit.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously, in terms of that last sprint finish, did you enjoy that at all? Or was there just sort of pressure to get the point in the end?
4 laps right to the end was brilliant. There were so many overtakes. I mean, I gotta give it to Red J. He kept his car really good the entire time. I was battling with him just probably for all 29 laps, for being honest. But still, it was really fun to just overtake him. Like, right. It was disappointing that I got hit by Wisdom, which was gutting. I don't know why his car spun out. It was such a weird corner for the spin on, but yeah, it was just manic all over from lap 1 to 29. It was just insane.
Always good to see. And of course, last question for you. In terms of next week's race in Saudi Arabia, do you have high hopes of that one as well? Can we get some points on the board again?
I'm confident for Jeddah because it's really low downforce, and I feel like surprisingly Bahrain was really the sort of downforce this year, with people using like 50-42 wings, which is quite strange. So I feel like Jeddah is going to be really close again, another close quali, which is even scarier this time with this full quali, because I feel like we'll be out in Q3. But, you never know. I might make it to Q1.
You never know. I have to wait and see until next week. Well, congratulations on the race. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did watching the stream. I look forward to watching this back later.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
No worries. JB, as you're back, we'll come back to you. So, of course, the pace was definitely there. We can both agree on that. Of course, you raced Crowley for the majority of that second half of the race. I mean, how was he to battle against?
Yeah, I don't know how much my original answer you heard, but no, he was class. He was racing hard, I think I had a little bit more pace in it, which was frustrating. He was doing really well with the ERS, and I noticed, unlike me, he was turning off completely in the low speed corners, whereas I was staying in medium. So he was saving it for the straights, which was a bit frustrating. But I had to keep it at least on to stay in DRS. But no, it was a good race. I've seen now what happened at the start of the race with Landlord and Sakir. It looks like Landlord just sort of spun over into Sakir, so I think he will be getting a penalty, but we'll obviously have to look into it further. So I may get my P3 after all.
Yeah, I have to wait and see. I mean, was there a point there where you felt like the win maybe could be on the cards with the right scenario playing out?
No, because Green is, he's just too good. I'm sure he was managing most of the time. I thought that at one point there was actually a chance, because I think it was Grumio and Crovey were battling, and I think they were going side by side through T2, and I thought that was going to end up with them both in the wall like Pope and Badman did. But they kept it clean, which was good. So no, good racing.
Okay, fair enough. Last question for you, of course. Do you think the pace will translate to the next race in Jeddah? Is this game pace, or is that just pace of Bahrain?
Well, fundamentally, it depends whether they decide to change the handling again, which they have done in the past. I think on F122 they did it about 3 or 4 months into the game, which was weird. Saudi Arabia is a terrible track for me. I'd be surprised if I'm in the points, to be honest. I know my pace was good today, but Bahrain's a decent track for me. So definitely not next week, but maybe Australia, 'cause that is a favourite of mine.
We'll have to wait and see. Cool. I mean, this time it's only taking you one race to get back in the points, which is always a positive. So, yeah, congratulations on the P4. Could be P3. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you back around next week.
Thanks, sir.
No worries. And now, last we come to my favourite co-commentator, Pope. Pope, commiserations, mate. Probably not the result we wanted today, but I thought the pace was there. I can have to agree with me on that.
Yeah, no, pace was really good until I got forced off wide. I mean, it wasn't really, it was just one of those where two people trying to go around the corner. I think Batman probably understayed a little bit, maybe hit the curb and wasn't able to give me any room, and I'm trying to stay on the track. It just wasn't coordinating with that, but it is what it is. As soon as we got off to that, and then it's a DRS trend, and it's really blatant to see what the issues are with the game. Oh, it's great for racing, obviously great for you as well.
Yeah.
But it's really heavy on train racing, which is interesting, and it'll be very interesting obviously next week in Jeddah. But yeah, obviously with the incident, Batman, I'm not going to speak on it because that's the steward's job. But truthfully, I don't even remember. All I know is I don't know how he's turning left when it's a straight road, but that's all I'll say.
Okay.
But it is what it is. I feel sorry for him because he had some wicked pace, and all in all, the fighting for that in the first 4 laps, like after the kind of gap to Krovi, was really, really good battle, and I really enjoyed it. Nice to be back on the grid as well, even though the racing turned out a little treacherous towards the end.
I mean, you still sort of you work your way back from that first safety car onwards. You sort of found yourself in the points by the time the second one came out, and obviously that sprint towards the end. Was there any hope you could try and pick up some more places at the end? Like with those last
Well,
four
yeah,
laps?
I was doing pretty well. Quite lucky, got through there. I made a little mistake and locked up on the tyres, just completely side spun it, but I don't think it affected anyone too much. And then Lucky lost it, and then I got absolutely ploughed in the back, and it just sent me off into a wall. That's why I was so far down towards the end. So I am obviously she was all look at it, but I literally was driving straight and next minute having a wall. So yeah, I think it was just kind of that everyone was kind of gunning for it. And obviously it's the first race of the season on the new game, so everyone's gonna really push the limits, and I think that was shown today. But nonetheless, everyone did really well, and it's a shame obviously we not got points on board, but pace was there. And I think obviously going into next week, a little bit more practice, a little bit more level-headedness, and hopefully we can pick up. I mean, I was the first race winner at Saudi Arabia in the league, so hopefully it's a good omen.
Essentially, yeah. But what I'm hearing is that basically this race was not unenjoyable enough for you to come back here in the commentary box. Is that correct?
That is true, yeah. I loved it. No, Bahrain's not my strongest at all. I always say Bahrain's probably one of my worst tracks. Yeah, it was enjoyable. I think the first few laps were crazy. Everyone's going to have to get used to this ERS, and we're going to a completely different track in terms of braking zones with Jeddah. Like, barely any braking. So how people are going to recover ERS there, that's going to be a huge thing to kind of learn over the week. But I've got a very good teammate in Emery, so I'm sure he'll be able to give some tips to myself. But yeah, it's going to be a good season. Obviously, we've got a really long way to go. So nothing's over and out yet, which is good.
Definitely. On that ERS, last question for you. Do you reckon that ERS management could potentially have a say in who wins the championship, given who can get skips to it first?
I think in a way, yeah, but truthfully, everyone kind of did the same thing. Like, everyone was... obviously I know JD was in medium, as we just said in the previous thing, but everyone was kind of off during the high-speed, low-speed corners, and then just a plain hot lap and overtake. I think that is kind of the way to go. But even, I think you probably could stay medium and not have to run it off, but that's one thing. But I don't think it'll be that. I think it'll be keeping within that DRS. Obviously now DRS gets activated in lap 1. Well, lap 2, should I say. So that's the most crucial thing, because like you saw, as soon as you're out of that DRS train, you're done for. So it's not too dissimilar from last year.
Fair enough. I mean, that'll come with the interview. Well, we need a word of the race. While you're here, we need a word of the race. I'm thinking train.
Brain, yeah, choo-choo. Yeah,
Choo
definitely
choo
train.
indeed. So for those of you who are still here, when the stream becomes a video in a few minutes' time, once it comes to an end, make sure to go to the comments, type in the word train. Preferably, if you can type in choo choo, go ahead and do that. Let us know what you think of Pope's driving now he's back on the grid. That'll be the thing now.
Not on this week. Not this week. Jesus.
Well, this will be the week where everyone does it. No one really does it often about the commentary, but now you're driving again. I'll have to get people on that.
Just say some nice things at least. It's a shocking race.
Well, I'll leave that down to the mercy of everyone down in the chat. Well, that'll do it for this week, guys. I hope you did enjoy the opening race of Season 17. If you did, make sure to subscribe for more future audio content. This show's been fantastic. Large viewer counts over the course of today. We had over 10 viewers on here, Pope. We haven't seen that in a couple of years in terms of a race. But that'll cap us off. And so from myself and Pope in the commentary box, I've been Zach RC. Until next week, we'll see you then. Goodbye.